Good morning, listeners of South Coast Radio, and thank you so much for spending this time with myself, Lee Foulis, South Coast Radio, and of course our delightful host, Ryan Mudli. We are going to talk about bouncing back from setbacks and adversity. And of course, as I've said in the past, life is not designed for our convenience. Things go wrong, so whether it is a car accident, the loss of a loved one, the loss of a job, a relationship that doesn't work out. There are so many things that, a health issue, how do we bounce back from that? And my first question I want to put to you is, what is your belief about adversity? So first of all, the belief is, yes, it happens. Things go wrong in life and adversity happens. Now, that is the ABC. What do we then believe about it? Do we believe that I will be devastated, I'm never going to recover, this is going to floor me, I'm finished, my life as I know it is over? Or is your belief, you know what, this is terrible, this is most unfortunate, but I will overcome it. I will find the resources and the support to deal with this setback that I'm facing. And if you look around, there are always people you can call on, whether it's a professional person, whether it's a life coach, a psychologist, a family member, a good friend. There are people, I am sure, in your circle that you can call on and say, you know what, I'm having a tough time. I need a bit of advice, or I just need a sounding board. I just need to unburden. But it is your belief about the setback. And if most of us who've had setbacks in our lives will think back and say, you know, I remember when that happened and how devastated I felt, but I got through it. And I'm okay. And then go back and draw on, say to yourself, how exactly did I get through it? What were the things that helped me navigate that situation? And what have I learned? And if nothing else, learn that you can survive. And I really want to say almost anything. And there again, we can look at histories full of examples of people who have had to deal with the most horrific things in life and have subsequently flourished and become motivational speakers and have succeeded in their careers and have succeeded financially and in every way. So the first thing I want to say is, what is your belief? Because there will be setbacks, there will be challenges, there will be adversity. It is what you believe about yourself in that situation that plays an enormous role about how you are going to, let's say, navigate, survive it. Because if you are going to sit in ash and sack and say, I'm finished, I'm done, I don't know which way to turn, then that is going to be the consequences, the ABC. A is for adversity, B is for what is my belief about the adversity, and C is the consequences of the adversity is to a large degree determined by my belief about it and myself. So if you say to yourself, well, I'm a strong person, I have survived adversity before, I have bounced back before, and I will do so again. And if it requires of me to get support, to get the necessary knowledge and skills, then I am going to do it. I am going to contact the friends, the family, the colleague, the professional, who is going to give me the skills, the knowledge, and the support to navigate this and come out stronger and wiser the other side. Because if we can look back and draw on past experience and say, you know what, this is not the first time that things have gone awry in my life. Because as we've said, things do go awry. This is not the first time that I've had to face adversity. This is not the first time that a relationship has not worked out. And listeners, I just have to put in here, when for those of you who've got young children, teenagers and slightly older, I remember when my son was about 15 years old and he met his first love, and it didn't work out. And this poor child was devastated. He was heartbroken. He sobbed. He was convinced he was never going to love again. This was the one. And his life as he knew it was over. And as a parent, it's very difficult to say, you know what, she was not the one. You are 15 years old. You are going to meet many girls. Some of them are going to work out and some of them are not. This may be the first time your heart is being broken, but it's not going to be the last. And this too shall pass. And if we can draw on that and say, you know what, I have survived a heartache before. I have survived whatever the setback is, the adversity is that you are facing. And even though the setback may be unique and the first time you are facing a particular situation, you can draw on how you have navigated, negotiated, and overcome difficult things in the past. Most of us who've lived long enough have faced a host. If I think of my own life, listeners, I have faced over my umpteen years on this earth, loads and loads of setbacks, from loss of parents, loss of a sibling. Yes, many, many, many years ago, as a much younger woman, I was fired from a job, it was more my ego that hurt than anything else. And again, looking back, I think it was the best thing that happened. The man I worked for was let's just say, not the kind of person I would want to work for. I did not respect him. But I've also learned from personal tragedy, from personal relationships that were shattering, from a very abusive relationship I was in many years ago, that I can overcome, and that I will overcome, and that nothing will get me down, and nothing will get me under, because I am a strong individual. And if I have to get the resources, the support that I need to overcome, then I shall do that. If you feel overwhelmed, please don't try and do it alone. Listeners, it will, as I've said, week after week, it would be my privilege to help and support you through whatever it is you have got to negotiate. And there is always a way. It is never a lost cause. There's always a way to get through it. So bouncing back from setbacks and adversity, the capacity, get the capacity. Like anything that we need, whether you need to learn to ride a bicycle or fly a drone or learn a new skill at work, it's capacity. And so get the capacity from people who can give you the skills and knowledge and support to overcome, and not just overcome, but be stronger for it. And know your belief that I can and I shall overcome this setback because I am determined to do so. And that in and of itself will open, I almost want to say, the neurological path. You will start seeing possibilities and solutions. When we feel totally defeated, when we feel totally downtrodden, it's almost as if the mind shuts down and you can't see a way out. You cannot see a way forward. But the minute you say to yourself, there is always a way, even if I don't see it, there is a way and I'm going to find it. And if that means I have to speak to someone to help me find it. And the minute you see in your mind grasps that there is a way, there is always an answer. Your mind starts opening up and your mind starts letting in possibilities, and you start seeing opportunities and you start seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. And depending on what it is, I'm not saying it's easy, I'm not saying it's quick, but I'm saying it's very, very doable and achievable. And when we talk to people, and in my profession I see it a lot, where somebody comes into my office and shares their story with me, share their problems with me, and where they sit with me and feel so helpless at the end of the process, where they are so empowered, where they walk out stronger with their head held high, with the skills, with the knowledge, and with a new vision for their lives. It is just confirmation that there's always a way out. There's always a way forward. There's always an answer. And when, as I say, your belief is, this sucks, this is really terrible, but there's a way and I'm going to find it. There is an answer and I'm going to find it. There is support for me out there and I am going to find it. Then the brain automatically starts letting in and opening up to those things. You get ideas that you cannot get when the brain is shut down in a woe is me, I'm done scenario. And our brains are amazing things. Our minds, our brains are so powerful. I don't know if I've shared the story with you in the past, but I think it bears repeating, that the professor in America had, I think it was 6 patients who all needed the same knee op. 3 of the patients who had the knee op, whatever it was, I can't remember. The other 3 didn't. He cut the knee open and just stitched it up again. He did absolutely nothing. But he told them they had the op. And so as far as they were concerned, all 6 of them had the op. And you know what? The 3 patients who did not have the reconstruction or the whatever he had to do to the knee healed exactly the same, if not better, than the people who had the knee ops. There's also now the evidence of people who practice playing the piano in their mind, can sit down in front of a piano and play it as well as the person who has literally practiced with a physical piano. That is how powerful the mind is. That is how we can train ourselves, by applying our mind to learn, to overcome, to acquire skills. So don't underestimate your mind, and don't shut down, and don't feel defeated, and don't feel I'm done for. This is it, this is the end for me, because it is not. And the minute you realize that, the minute you know you can overcome literally anything, then you will see those possibilities, listeners. And as I say ad nauseum, if that means speaking to someone who can support you, who can give you the skills and knowledge, then do so. If you are determined to fix the oil pump or the carburetor in your vehicle, you may well need to go and speak to a mechanic and say, look, just show me how to do it so I can go and do it on my vehicle. You go and get the knowledge and the support and someone who tells you how to do it step by step. And then you go home and you can do it. And it's the same with every other situation in life. Don't ever feel you're alone, because you're not. Go to the people and say, please walk me through this, because I need to deal with this and overcome this. And I need to be empowered at the end of it. And that way, once you have made that decision, and once you have that belief about adversity and setbacks, because they will come, as sure as nuts, there will be setbacks, there will be adversity. And how we start believing right now that yes, I am sure down the road there's going to be a problem or 10. And you know what? I will deal with them as and when they arise. I will find what I need to find to overcome them, and not just to overcome them, but to flourish and to be stronger and wiser at the other side of it. Then you can wake up in the morning and know that whatever this day holds, I'm going to be fine. And I know I've shared the story with you, listeners, about my neighbor's rooster who at 4 o'clock in the morning belts out these loud crows, which I just adore, because every morning he announces the day with such enthusiasm. He doesn't know what's going to happen. He doesn't know if he's going to be slaughtered and eaten. Maybe he's going to be supper. Fortunately, I'm pretty sure he's a pet. But what I'm saying is, every morning he wakes up with such enthusiasm at the first rays of the sun. He belts out his joy. and his enthusiasm for the day, whilst not knowing what the day holds. And we're the same in many ways. If we can start the day full of enthusiasm, saying, I don't know what the day holds, but you know what? I'm going to be fine. I'm going to have a good day, and whatever comes my way, I'm going to deal with. I will cope with it. If I don't know what to do, I'm going to find out what to do, and I'm going to be fine. And come tonight, I'm going to lie down in my bed and say, thank you. I'm grateful for what I have learned today, what I have achieved today, and that I am slightly better, maybe a lot better today than I was yesterday. I am wiser today than I was yesterday. And hopefully we can all say, I was kinder today than what I was yesterday. I had softer words today than I had yesterday. So those people that irritate you, and we all have them, whether it's in the traffic, just say, I read a lovely book where the lady said she adopted the phrase, go in peace. May peace be with you. To anybody and everybody who, let's use the word, irritates her. So if there's someone who cuts her off in traffic, she just say, peace be with you. And that deflates the situation. She doesn't get herself in a froth about it and arrive at work all het up because some stranger who's not aware of her, doesn't care, has cut her off, and his day or her day is fine, but your day has been ruined. And so don't give other people the power to ruin your day or your life or your happiness, or even worse, your potential to flourish. I hope that helps. If not, if you would like more specific information, please contact me on 082 330 2439. And I hope there's lots of chocolate in your near future because we've got Easter weekend. I hope the Easter Bunny brings you some nice goodies, and I hope you have a very good, happy, and safe Easter weekend.
The radio station you can't live without. This is your radio.
This is South Coast Radio.